Benoit Saint-Denis versus Renato Moicano has been announced for a 5-round fight at UFC Paris. And with the new announcement of Cyril Gane being on UFC 308 in the rematch against Volkov, everything's really pointing to this fight being the main event of UFC Paris, and it's basically a done deal by now. They even announced it as 5 rounds. So main event in UFC Paris, which is a huge fight night, is Benoit Saint-Denis versus Renato Moicano. And thoughts on this fight? I really like this fight. It makes a lot of sense for the division. Obviously, you have Benoit Saint-Denis coming off the defeat against Dustin Poirier, where he looked good early, but the cardio started to fade, and the veteran Dustin Poirier got the best of him. Not a bad loss by any means. Moicano's coming off that great win against Jalen Turner, where Jalen Turner thought he was getting some walk-off KO instead of, falling to the ground and potentially winning the fight there. But I don't know what Jalen Turner was thinking there. He wanted that bonus or something. But Moicano comes back in the second round after winning most of the first round, takes him down, and beats the shit out of Jalen Turner. So both are coming off great. Moicano's coming off a great win, and Benoit Saint-Denis is coming off a loss is a loss, but it's not a terrible loss, especially with a guy like him who's a really bright future and a really good skill set. So they're coming in this fight, I'd say pretty confident. If I'm Benoit Saint-Denis, I'm pretty confident going in this fight, and that's why I think he has a big advantage in this fight, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. When you look at Moicano, he has great grappling and great jiu-jitsu, but his striking compared to a guy like Benoit, I don't think he's going to find a lot of success. And I think Benoit Saint-Denis, with the wrestling he has and the way he just aggressive, he's just a madman in there. He was just a madman in there. I watched some of his fights earlier today. The dude just keeps walking forward until he gets the knockout, or he's able to hurt you, maybe go for a submission or take you down or whatever. He's pressing for the entire fight. He's an absolute animal in there. And I just don't think that Moicano is going to be able to use his grappling to beat Benoit Saint-Denis. And I think that's going to be the main issue with him for this fight, is that he has great jiu-jitsu. He can grapple. He's really good at it. But Benoit Saint-Denis can also use jiu-jitsu. He can also grapple, and he's going to be able to stay on the feet, in my opinion. So that's why I think, for an early prediction, and I think I'm going to stick with this one, but, it's still early. I think Benoit Saint-Denis keeps this fight on the feet, and I think he beats the dog shit out of Moicano. And I hate to say it, because I love both these guys. I like Moicano a lot. But if this fight stays on the feet, I don't know how Moicano wins this. I just don't know. I don't see how it happens. And with the Paris crowd behind Benoit, he knows, this is a big fight for him. If he loses this, he's going to lose a lot of hype. He needs this fight so he can get another shot in the top 10 again. And Moicano, I don't see this guy ever getting really close to a belt, but if he wants to, get in the top 10 right now in this part of his career, because he kind of had a resurgence, he needs this win, because he'll get a top 10 opponent if he wins this fight, especially on a big stage like Paris. And, who doesn't really like Moicano? He's a good personality on the mic, Money Moicano. He's an interesting guy. He's an easy guy to root for. So he needs this fight. And Benoit Saint-Denis, if he wants to stay looked at as that super next gen lightweight, but super touted prospect lightweight who has top 5 potential, he needs this fight. He needs to win this fight, I should say. So I think Benoit Saint-Denis gets it done, keeps it on the feet, and I'm predicting that I think a second or third round TKO. I'll go third round TKO by Benoit Saint-Denis. I think Moicano's going to be extremely tough. He's going to stay in there. He's going to maybe be able to take Benoit Saint-Denis down at some points, but Benoit just going to be able to get back up to his feet, maybe even out-grapple him. And as I said, if this stays a striking match, Moicano, I think, is not in for a good night, and I believe that's how it's going to be. So I'm picking Benoit Saint-Denis, early prediction, third round TKO win over Moicano. Now, I talked about this a little bit. Branden versus Nasruddin Imavov officially announced for UFC Paris. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a featured fight or a co-main, but I'm glad that Branden has decided that he's okay not being the main event. And I was really pissed off when he came out with those videos and was saying, I've won my last 3 main events, even though he debatably lost his last one against Chris Curtis. Let's be honest here. But it's like, dude, I was so angry because why are you flexing this? Why are you turning down a fight against a top 5 opponent in a huge card in Paris, where you can go in his home country and whoop his ass there? which makes you get more fans, which makes your name grow even more because you're on a huge fight night card with a huge exciting crowd and you take out their homeboy. The fact that he was turning this down to fight, oh, I want to be a main event on the Apex. It needs to be in the Apex. Because guess what? Branden Allen ain't main event anywhere else. So the only way he was going to fight Nasser Imavov is a main event in the Apex. Why would you want that? And I'm glad the UFC made him take this fight because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful that he wasn't taking this. And that's why I was so angry, because are we going to lose out on a really good fight, which has a lot of, a lot of implications on the middleweight division because this dude wants to be an idiot? That's why I was so angry, because it's ridiculous. So if you saw the video of me talking about that, it was unbelievably frustrating because at that moment, it's like, I'm not getting this fight. And I hate it as a fan that I'm not getting this fight because this guy's a moron. So luckily the UFC set him straight. He did what he was told to do. And now he's fighting on the card, and UFC Paris just got a great middleweight fight, which if Nasser Imavov wins this, he already has a claim to a title shot technically, but he has an even stronger claim to a title shot. And I don't think Branden Allen is that good, but still he's going to be on a good winning streak. And at the end of the day, he's still being a top 10 ranked guy. And Branden Allen, if he wins, Branden Allen gets in the top 5, which I'll get to my prediction, but spoiler, I don't really see Branden Allen winning this. But he gets in the top 5, so it's a huge fight for Branden Allen as well. So high stakes, huge fight for both men. And now it's on UFC Paris gets upgraded even more of this great fight. So we got Benoit Saint-Denis on it. We got Imavov versus Branden Allen on it. So this card's really shaping up right now. And it should, because Paris deserves a big card. This is a market the UFC wants to build. So, as I said, I'm glad the UFC set Branden Allen straight and forced him to take this fight because it makes sense for him. And I'm glad they can, I don't want to say convinced, because I bet he still believes everything he said. But they forced him to do the right thing. So props to the UFC for that. And it just helped out UFC Paris a lot and helped out the middleweight division a lot too. So, early prediction for this fight. I think Branden Allen is a good fighter. Like, he's not where he is right now if he's not a good fighter at all. He's good jiu-jitsu. He has decent striking. And, I'm not going to go through all his fights. I'm not going to go through all Nasser Imavov's fight for this early prediction. But based off what I've watched from these guys and what I've rewatched from these guys, I think Nasser Imavov is just a different level fighter. As I said, I don't think Branden Allen debatably, I don't think he even won his last fight against Chris Curtis. And Chris Curtis is a dog. He's really good, but I think Nasser Imavov's a different level than a Chris Curtis potentially. And I think he's going to be a different level with the home crowd added onto that against Branden Allen. I just think that if Branden Allen needs to win this fight, he needs to get a submission, and which is what he usually does against, to be honest, a lot of lower level guys. I mean, he has a win over Paul Craig. Paul Craig's a dead body. He's a dead body. Chris Curtis is good, but he's not Imavov level. And the rest of his resume, it's just Nasser Imavov, I just think is clearly the higher level fighter on paper, for sure, especially on paper. He's a higher level fighter. He's a better resume. And I think he's a way better striker. And like, kind of with the main event with Moicano and Saint-Denis, I think Branden Allen is going to need to hurt Nasser and then submit him. I don't think that's going to happen because I think he's completely outgunned on the feet. So I think Nasser Imavov, he'll get taken down, but I think he's going to get right back up. I could see him maybe using his grappling as well, even though if I'm him, I'm keeping this on the feet. But I think their grappling is going to cancel each other out, and Imavov's going to want a stand-up fight anyways. That's where he does his best work, and that's where I think Branden Allen is, at his weaker, areas of his game. So I think Nasser Imavov keeps it standing. And I don't know if I want to pick by TKO. Part of me just thinks he's kind of just going to beat him up for 5 rounds. And there's going to be maybe 2 out of those 5 rounds where he just is really putting it on Branden Allen. So, actually, 5 rounds. 3 rounds. I don't know why I'm thinking this is the main event. So, I think Nasser Imavov is going to get a unanimous decision. I think he wins all 3 rounds. And I think he shows levels to Branden Allen. And I think, we're going to hear a lot of bullshit from Branden Allen. Probably be like, oh, the judges robbed me. We're in France. This is why I want to be in the Apex. I don't know. I'm just expecting the dumbest shit to come out of some of these UFC fighters sometimes, if you know what I mean. But, so, early official prediction, which is say early prediction, I got Nasser Imavov beating Branden Allen and, legitimizing that he is a top 5 middleweight in the division by defending his rank, beating Branden Allen by unanimous decision, outstriking him for 3 rounds straight. And I think he gets a pretty pretty easy win, and I think pretty easy win over Brendan Allen. And I don't really know where Brendan Allen goes after this. I could see Brendan Allen, if he loses, fighting down and losing again or something. I don't know, but I just don't see him beating Nasser Imavov. I just don't see him getting it done. So with these two UFC Paris fight announcements, those are my early predictions, early thoughts on the fight. Obviously, stuff could change. I could see something, have a realization, and maybe pick something else. But overall, for my little, brief early predictions, I just think Saint-Denis and Nasser Imavov are just too good for these guys. I think they're too good, and I think both of the Frenchmen are going to get it done in Paris. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe, like the video. See you later.